So this balloon traversed 11 states, but the Pentagon says they were able to mitigate some of its impact.
Having the guts to shoot this down. That was the right thing to do. That is absolutely what the president should have done. Unfortunately, he didn't do that until a week after it entered U.S. airspace. He allowed a full week for the Chinese to conduct spying operations over the United States, over sensitive military installations, exposing not just photographs, but the potential of intercepted communications. And more broadly, I think this entire episode telegraphed weakness to Xi and the Chinese government. And to illustrate why, I would just ask one hypothetical question. Imagine how this would have played out if nobody had taken any pictures of the balloon, if nobody in Montana had looked up and noticed this giant balloon, if it wasn't in the news. We know that when the Biden administration knew about the balloon, they said nothing, they did nothing, they didn't shoot it down. And at the end of the day, I think the only reason they shot it down is because it made it into the news, and they felt forced to as a matter of politics rather than national security. That's a bad message for the Chinese government to hear.
Well, the Pentagon has since disclosed that it's apparently happened 4 times before. Back in 2020, Trump administration shuttered the Chinese consulate in Houston after detecting espionage.
When the Trump administration shut the Chinese consulate in Houston, I spoke with the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, about it. And what they had discovered about the espionage activities being carried out in the state of Texas by the Chinese government was horrifying.
This app called TikTok. What? It's been downloaded 200 million times. I know you think it's espionage. Are we at the point where we're past a ban, where this is just so embedded that you can't get rid of it?
That's not funny! And the degree to which they have infiltrated our children is really disturbing. There are lots of problems with it. There are problems in terms of the messages that they're pushing on young kids. And then on top of that, you've got the espionage risk. The Chinese Communist government has access to all of the information TikTok collects. I think it is a serious, serious threat. I'll tell you, on the Commerce Committee, I've already sat down with each of the Republican members on the committee to ask them their priorities, and there was consensus on this side of the aisle that focusing seriously on TikTok is a real priority, and I think there are a lot of Democrats who are very concerned about it as well. It's hurting our kids and how it's undermining national security. As I said, both Republicans and Democrats are very concerned about the impact of TikTok.
Should America restrict U.S. companies from investing in Chinese industries and key technology sectors?
De-link our supply chain from China to make it so that we are not dependent on China. I introduced an amendment on the floor of the Senate to block the United States government from purchasing electric vehicles or batteries that were manufactured using slave labor in concentration camps in China. China has over 1 million Uyghurs in concentration camps. And Margaret, sadly, when we voted on it, every Democrat but one, every Democrat but Joe Manchin, voted no. And right now, the Biden administration is one of the largest customers in the world for the concentration camps that are carrying on murder and torture right now in China.
They're going to put you all back in chains.